Hello, I'm Craig Donald, and we'll be having a show in Queen Street. My work is sort of not difficult to explain, but it's quite multifaceted, shall we say. It's a mixture of painting and drawing, with sometimes some sculptural elements, but it tends to be more installational in its display. And what I mean by that is that I rarely, if ever, go for a very sort of straight hang, if you know what I mean. The work tends to be spread about quite a bit more. It's utilised in a more playful manner, in a way. And it's the reason for that is because I'm looking at so many different things. In my work, I'm most interested in history and control, and I mean this in the broadest way possible. It's almost, I use it as a sort of lens for looking at the world. You know, when I say control, I mean like how we sort of structure consciousness, how we interpret the world around us, and especially through history. So the work for this show has been very much inspired by opera and operatic themes. And for this show, the sort of dominant sort of operatic theme that I've been looking at has been Wagner's Ring Cycle. And the reason for that is because it's a very sort of controversial or sort of ideologically loaded opera. Even just within the world of opera itself, it's seen as something very much on its own. But then there's the sort of ominous associations with Nazi Germany, and even right down to pop cultural references such as, you know, the playing of Ride of the Valkyries in Apocalypse Now. But the reason I'm looking at opera for my work is that for me it's in a way this very constructed sort of art form that has been sort of as a forerunner of film, you know, a way to bring lots of different types of art together, you know, through music, performance, and then even right down to costumes and set painting, all in a way to provide a sort of mood for the audience or the viewer. And I think this is something we all struggle with, especially as painters, you know, whenever our work tends to be very much put on the wall and seen as something to view. I just thought it would be interesting to look at something that is slightly more, I don't want to say the word emotional, but could be seen as being slightly more emotionally involving. And also then the fact that, you know, a lot of the time opera is dealing with these very sort of archetypal stories and mythological kind of aspects that for me I find fascinating in terms of our interpretation of history, how we tend to romanticize things, how we can sort of almost apply these narratives that are put down to us through fairy tales, through mythology. You know, the good guys always win, love is at the centre of everything, and how we can sort of, not in a literal way of course, but how sort of unconscious aspects of this might feed its way down into our interpretation of history.